The Eurozone's second largest economy is in recession, as Q1 GDP showed a contraction for the French economy. On the phone with me now to discuss the outlook for France is Michael Hewson of CMC Markets. Michael, whilst the term recession will naturally set people on edge, with a GDP loss of just 0.2% in the opening 3 months of 2013, is this figure really that disastrous?
No, I mean, it's not, but it's not really about the Q1 GDP. It's also about the second quarter GDP, and the recent economic data out of France in Q2 seems to suggest that actually the Q2 contraction could be even bigger than the Q1. And that, more than anything, is the real concern about the French economy at the moment. It's the Eurozone's second biggest economy, and it's going in completely the opposite direction to Germany's economy.
This figure follows news that the French government is set to cut spending for the first time in over 55 years. The $2 billion in cuts will assist the government in avoiding unpopular tax rises and quell unsustainable spending. Whilst a more hard-hitting measure than the auctioning off of the presidential vintage wines, could these plans be derailed by a French economy now in recession?
I certainly think there's a good chance of that, because I certainly think a rising unemployment rate could well eat into the 2 billion euros worth of cuts, and that's always assuming that Mr. Hollande is able to get the cuts through. There's no guarantee that he will be able to do so, given the fact that there's an awful lot of unrest with respect to the unions and the likelihood of further cuts.
French President Francois Hollande has been granted extra time to reduce the budget deficit, which has to fall below 3% of the country's economic output by 2015. French newspaper Les Echos has reported that the public deficit could reach 4.1% should the economy contract. Would you agree with this forecast, and what are the implications for budget deficit targets?
Well, the implications for budget deficit targets are not good at all, because Mr. Hollande needs to, get some growth back into the economy. And unfortunately, what he's trying to do is he's trying to do it by raising taxes. Well, France is already a heavily taxed economy, and business leaders are calling for Mr. Hollande to, make structural reforms and actually cut taxes for small businesses. And at the moment, he's showing a little inclination to do that. So I think he will be very, very optimistic if he thinks that he can get the budget deficit down to 3% of the country's economic output by 2015.
And lastly, Michael, Mr. Hollande has also approached China to increase investment in France. China currently accounts for 4% of foreign investment. What does France have to offer foreign investors, particularly those in Asia?
Well, I think it's like with any external investment, you have to show that you're pro-business. And since Mr. Hollande came to power, he's shown that he's not really pro-business, because of the fact that he implemented a whole host of tax rises, 75% tax rate. Now, he has said that he's going to roll back on that, but it's the message that he's sent to overseas companies has not been a positive one, given some of the criticism from cabinet ministers like Monsieur Montebourg, who's criticised overseas companies in France for cutting down on their expenditure in the country.
Stay tuned to Dukascopy TV. We'll be hopping across the channel to take a closer look at the UK with Darren McDermott. Goodbye for now.